Hey everybody, I'm Iyaz Akhtar, and join me this week on Aussie Tech Heads.
Yes, it's Anzac Day. Welcome to the Aussie Tech Heads Anzac Day episode, 25th of April 2013. And yes, I hope everyone took time out of their busy schedule today to remember those that have fallen for us back in all wars and in all conflict that Australia's been unfortunately involved in. So I hope we all took some time out, remembered the guys that died for us and died for our country so we could live in a better place. All right, so this is Aussie Tech Heads, and we are live at aussietechheads.com.au/live, and you can come and see us live, record the show every Thursday night, 7:30, on that website address I just told you, so whoopie-doo. I'm sure you got that down. What else goes on around here? We've got the radio, aussietechheads.com.au/radio. We've got the specials/specials, and speaking of that, we have got another one for you tonight, or for this episode. Shane's gone out and he's interviewed someone else. But we'll just do a quick whip around the hosts here tonight. We'll find out what they've been up to through the week, and then we'll cross to Shane's special presentation on this Anzac Day. So speaking of Shane, where are you, Shane? How are you going?
I'm good, Glenn, Will, everybody else. Yeah, how's your week been?
Good. Can't complain. What's anything happened out of the ordinary for you this week? Just pretty cruisy? Nothing?
No, same dog, different leg. Pretty quiet week this week. Looking forward to my trip next week. I fly out to Sydney for the week.
Nice.
For work reasons, I fly out Sunday, so that should be good.
Oh, all right, good stuff. Straight across. How long does it take you to get from Perth to Sydney? Out of interest?
It's quicker if you go by plane.
Yeah. Well, if you fly, it's quicker. If you get a plane, you don't want to fly yourself. There'll be a lot of arm flapping going on.
It takes about, I think it's about 4 hours, and it's nearly 5 hours on the way back. Apparently, the winds go the other way or some crap when you're coming back.
Right, that's a long time. 5 hours. That's like pretty much nearly a whole work day. So what time do you leave?
Yeah.
What time?
I'm flying out Sunday lunchtime.
Right. Okay.
So I go like a day early. Get into Sydney Saturday night. Fly out Friday night.
You go Friday lunchtime.
Sunday lunchtime.
Yeah, and you get in Saturday
Perth
night
to Sydney, and then I get in there Sunday night.
Okay. Right. Gotcha.
Or Sunday evening, and then on Friday I fly out probably about, I think it's 5:30, and then I get back to Perth about 6:30 Perth time. So
right. Yeah.
Time wise, it's only like an hour flight, but in actual time, it's one of these kind of
Do you you got leave in lieu of travel? Do you get all those little perks? No,
I didn't really push the point of well, how come I'm flying out on a Sunday kind of thing, because I'm going over there for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I've got an IBM course, and Thursday, Friday they want me to work out of our Parramatta office,
right,
and then come back on a Friday night.
All right, good stuff. Well, we're going to come back to you in a second, Shane, because I know you've got some exciting news. And Will, how you doing? Oh, there he is.
Yeah, a little bit tired, but getting there.
Yeah. So Will's just come back from a trip, and he's been away all day. So he's
I had to go and rescue the in-laws. I made the mistake of giving them a computer a couple of weeks ago, and I've been regretting it ever since.
Yeah, so I've done mistakes like that too. Yes.
They managed to kill the wireless modem, or the wireless dongle I put on it the other day. So, and of course I couldn't figure out how to plug a network cable in. So jump in the car, drove 3 hours down to Evans Head to run supposedly a cable from one side of the wall to the other. 4 hours later.
Oh, you love it. All right. Now, Shane, you've got another interview. You've done another interview for us, and we're going to listen to that. Well, part of that now. Who have we got tonight?
Tonight we got Iyaz Akhtar. It was an interesting interview, actually. Kind of probably a really relaxed interview. This is my third interview, so hopefully they're getting better as they kind of go along.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we're going to play Iyaz in just 1 second. Don't forget that we've also got the Tom Merritt and the Brian Brushwood interviews up there as well. You can grab them off the aussietechheads.com.au/specials page, and you can grab them, and Iyaz will be there as well in full. Okay, in full. You can also watch the other ones in full from the specials page also. Otherwise, you can grab them in part or audio. The audio download with the rest of them, and as with Iyaz tonight, will be pushed through the Aussie Tech Head audio podcast stream. So you won't have to do anything if you just want the audio only. It'll just come to you, just like a cold in the night. It'll just come to you. All right. Now, I think, Shane, you've provided an introduction for us on the recorded interview, so there's no need to go back and introduce it again. So if I push this little button over here, I think good things might happen. We'll see how we go.
Yeah,
It's always worrying, isn't it, when you start moving the mouse across 3 screens and you're looking for that little play button somewhere, and you got to come back and quickly flick the things, flick the buttons. Here we go. All right, good one.
Hi, my name's Shane Johnson. I'm here with Aussie Tech Heads to do another interview. This week I've got another member of the Twit family, Iyaz Akhtar. Welcome aboard, Iyaz.
Thank you so much, Shane. I apologize for missing the last time. It was a bizarre scenario, but I'm really glad to be here today. And thank you for rescheduling with me, because I'm really excited to talk to you guys.
Not a problem at all. Okay, so like we were sort of saying just before the interview proper kicked off, the format will be kind of informal, bit of a chat. I'll ask a couple of questions, and hopefully it'll be more of a conversation rather than an interrogation. So we'll kick off.
Oh, I love interrogations, but okay, we can have a conversation. Let's do that instead.
I'll try and come across like mean or something just to make it feel like an interrogation.
Okay.
All right, so like I said, we'll break it up into 2 categories: a bit about you and a bit about the work that you do. I was interested to read that you have actually had an interest in tech for years. Like you, I think you did some work with PC Magazine. Is that right?
That's true. I worked for PC Mag for a short time. Before that, I was a blogger. I started writing while I was in law school around 2006. I was always interested in tech since I was a little kid, and my first experience with tech was this. I had this Radio Shack computer called a Tandy, and I got a new sound card. I was really excited about the sound card, and I installed it while the machine was on. Yeah,
not a good move.
Idea. Yeah, I fried the motherboard. So I learned when I was about 11 years old, never ever do that. And we got a letter from Radio Shack saying that your extended warranty is almost up. It turned out that machine was still insured, so we brought it back to the store. They gave us a new machine. They're like, your motherboard is fried, but since you're covered, here you go. So I've been into tech since I was a little kid. And then while I was in school, I wanted to write a little bit because I had opinions about technology, and I was learning to write for school, so I was like, I'll write up some tech stuff. And I ended up writing for the Apple blog, which eventually got bought by GigaOM. And I started a writing career like 2006 while I was in law school, which is a very bizarre scenario. But it was my hobby, and it became my job, so I'm just psyched to get to do what I get to do.
It's interesting that you bring up the law part of your career, so to speak. So if you already had the interest in tech and you were doing tech-related things, why the law degree?
Oh, well, if you can't tell, if you're listening to just the audio only, I'm a brown fellow, and my folks are from Pakistan. And one of the things you do if you're in that part of the world is you're either a lawyer or you're a doctor. That's what my mom told me. You get to be a lawyer or a doctor. My dad was a doctor. His father was a police officer, and my uncles were judges. So like there's all kinds of like successful people, and there's only, again, 2 things you do, they told me: lawyer or doctor. And I'm like, I have a bio degree. I had a bio major when I was in school, and I was like, I don't really care about science like this. It's like I love the Discovery Channel and I want to watch it that way, but I don't want to do this. I don't want to fix people. My hands are shaky. It's not a good thing for me to fix people. And so I was like, law. I love problem solving. Technology, one of the big things about my whole life has been solving problems when it comes to technology, or if I'm trying to figure out anything. I mean, when it comes to science, you're talking about how to figure out how to get a video from the cloud to you. It's a whole lot of fun. It's all about problem solving. That's why I went to law school, because I loved problem solving. And law to me was incredibly interesting because it challenged me in a way that I hadn't seen. A lot of it was about like spatial recognition. Over here in the States, we have something called the LSAT. This is the law school aptitude test. And a lot of the questions are about like seating guests at a dinner table. And you're like, what does this have to do with law? And I had no idea how much the law works like a wedding table. because they all kind of sit next to each other and they all kind of interact. And if you figure that out, these relationships, then you'll understand law. And I went to law school with an intense interest in law. It just so happened that during the time I was studying for my bar exam, so I could practice law in New York, I started podcasting because I needed a creative outlet. I'm a creative guy. I've been drawing since I was 5. I used to draw a lot, and I used to make music, and I used to do all kinds of things. But I wanted to do a show because I listened to a show called Return of the Screensavers, Revenge of the Screensavers, back in like 2006 or so. Like, oh, I know those guys. I used to watch them on Tech TV. That's awesome. That's great. And I'm like, I can get a microphone and I can talk. Why not try it? And so while I was studying for the bar exam, I started podcasting about entertainment, and it was a lot of fun. And I had my best friend from college was my co-host. We are actually still doing that show now. We just restarted it like last week.
Oh, okay. So, actually, questions specifically about law that I've always wondered, and it's the same for medicine, I guess. Why do they refer to it as practicing law?
Because you never know what you're doing. The best thing about law is that it's a bit like a science, in the fact that the judicial statements that are done by courts, they're called opinions. And the reason why they're called opinions is opinions change. Just because it's been written out doesn't mean it can't change over time. And practicing law, things change. And, you really can't, there's no way you can come out of school, I don't care where you go, you can't come out of school thinking you know it all. What you do get to learn at law school, though, is you learn how to think. And then with that, this newfound information, how to think, you can set up the proper way to understand law and how it should be. You can always figure things out. That's the best thing about law. You learn how to do that. But you'll never know everything. And it's partly a philosophical concept, but you're always practicing. You'll never be perfect, but you'll practice.
Okay. And I guess that's the same for medicine, I suppose.
Oh, yes. Medicine, yeah, my dad was a doctor. My brother's a doctor, actually. A lot of that, yeah, it's a lot of... You never know more than reality. That's the best thing about law and science. Reality is a harsh thing. It doesn't matter what you think. Reality wins every time.
True. So has the law degree come in handy?
Surprisingly so. I thought it was a really great thing to have for Jeopardy. I watched the television show Jeopardy. I don't know if you have that there.
Well, you do, yeah.
Okay, well, it's a quiz show, and I love that stuff, and I know a lot of obscure things thanks to my law degree and my other degrees. And like I said before, with law, it did teach me how to think and how to argue and how to see things from sides I wouldn't normally see. Because a lot of the stuff that happens in technology, to me as a consumer, is so strange that I can't fathom why on earth would anybody think it's a great idea. But I'm like, okay, well, if I had to think it's a good idea, why? And so even if I think it's a popular decision or I think it's crazy, at least I could look at that point of view and then try to understand it in a way that I can either explain it to somebody else or to say, here's what I think they're thinking, and here's why it's a good idea. Here's what I think they're thinking, and here's why I think it's crazy. But it's an analysis that you learn. So law has been, it was a great experience, and I'm really glad I got to have it. Actually, I wish everybody got to learn the U.S. law in the U.S. anyway, so they know the rules of the game that you're following. Because every day you're living, it's like you're playing a board game, but nobody tells you the rules. I mean, they're out there, but law school teaches you everything. You're like, oh, that's why I can't do that. Oh, I see. So it's been really helpful, surprisingly helpful in a career and talking into a microphone.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. The other thing that I noticed or found when I was doing research for you is, or on you, was that growing up at least, you had an interest in video games. Does that interest still, I guess most kids do, but I mean, does that interest still is that still there?
For video games, when I was growing up, I loved well, I grew up in I was born in '79, so the first real video games I got to play with were the NES, and then arcade games like Street Fighter 2, things like that. And I loved going to arcades. Arcades are a dying thing out here in the States, and my interest in games is about the same as when I was about 6 or 7 years old. My big issues with video games at this point is that hearing that they take 40 to 80 hours to complete, like that's a job. And I don't want to do that as a job. I like to play for fun. And I was I would get so much flack for this as a kid. I would play Super Mario Brothers, the original version, all the time. I'd get up to world, like, I think it's 8-2, and then quit. Because I just realized after like 2.5 hours that I was like, what am I doing with my day? Now, 8-3 is the final world. 8-2 is where I would stop. And I'm like, what am I should do something with my time. I'm a 6-year-old who's like apparently very upset about this. But the fact that these games take so much time out of your day, I was just shocked by that. And like, I would love to play a game. Like, I used to play this game with my brother. I used to play, Halo. I loved Halo. But like, I'm spatially the dumbest person on earth. I suck at maps. I am so bad at maps. So you put me in Halo, it would take me like 2 hours to do something. It takes my brother to do about like 2 seconds. And so a 40-hour campaign takes me about 80. And I love video games, but I have a hard time believing that I'm going to spend 80 hours on a game if I'm good at it. And that's why I'm excited about like things like the Ouya and casual gaming, as they put it, sports games or head-to-head. I love playing head-to-head. I grew up, there was 4 of us when we were growing up. There was my older brother, older sister, myself, and my younger brother, and we'd always play multiplayer games because the amount of smack we would talk and the amount of things we'd bet on. It's like, if I beat this game, you're taking out the trash for a week. Like, that became a lot more fun than the actual game. I like to play sports games, like NHL hockey. That's a hockey game out here. Madden football, these things. But when it comes to like these mystical worlds, exploration, where you can get lost for hours, like sometimes I'm like, I should be mowing a lawn instead of playing a game. So it's I love video games, but they become so amazing that I know that myself, as an obsessive person, I would lose days, and I don't think that'd be good for the world.
Oh, okay. So really, it's almost like if you had a problem drinking, you make the choice, I will not to drink, because I know that when I get drunk, I act like a stupid idiot.
As an obsessive person, I have to be very careful what I do.
Yeah, it makes sense. All right, so the next question I was the next question I was going to ask, and it's a question that I ask everybody. It's just kind of one of those fun questions. Because you've got the law degree, and you touched on that you've got other degrees. You do the podcasting thing. You're known as a producer. You're a host. What do you actually put on government forms as your occupation when you fill those in?
On the government forms, I am, and this is the weirdest thing to say, I'm technically an associate producer / host. Okay. And it's a strange one. I will agree conceptually, because like every time I explain that at a party, people are like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "Can I borrow your phone so I can show you what I do?" And they're like, "And this works for you, and this is your job?" I'm like, "Yes," because I have a hard time believing it too. But that's I'm a producer / host, associate producer / host. I'm not an official producer. Yeah. Maybe I could ask for a title bump, but it doesn't really make a difference. But yeah, I'm a producer / host, and that's my actual on the form. That's what it says.
Okay. Do you have any questions about that from immigration officers and whatnot?
No, so far so good. If they wanted to interview me, surely they can. And it's just a weird gig to have. It's I remember asking Tom a long time ago. I was talking to Tom Merritt, and I'm like, "Can I use you as a reference? I want to get a job somewhere." He's like, "Okay." I'm like, "What do I write for you?" He goes, "Well, write host at Twit." And I was like, "Just host?" And he's like, "Yep." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "That's a weird job to have, because I mean, what does that mean?" It's like, you just talk. I guess so. It's not like you're seating people at a restaurant. Maybe that's what people think I do. Maybe they think I might work at a restaurant, and I'm just like, you know what, party of two. I'm the host. You sit over there. Yeah. But I'm sure the IRS has. I'm sure they're not worried about somebody like me.
No, probably not. So, moving on to, I guess the work that you've started to do with Twit. When you actually first joined Twit, did you go straight into the hosting, or did Leo want you kind of to cut your teeth on something else first?
Let's see. So, I'm almost at my 2-year anniversary. On the 28th of March will be my 2-year anniversary when I started at Twit. When I first started on the 28th, I wasn't on camera. I was actually helping doing the lineup for TNT. I didn't show up until the 29th. Because back then, Darren used to do Mondays. Darren Kitchen, who does Fridays now on TNT, was on Mondays. But to get the gig, I appeared on TNT a bunch of times so Leo can get a feel for me. And then they asked to put me on Twit, the big show. And I was on Twit on February 27th. I will never forget this because it was terrifying. And the idea was, could Iyaz hang with other people? So there's Leo, O'Malley, Kara Swisher of All Things D, and me. We're the 4-person panel. And I am freaking the fudge out. I am losing my mind because O'Malley is a hero of mine. Kara Swisher is a genius. And Leo's on this. And I'm just like... And I'm here. So here I am bringing down the awesomeness of the episode. And, the episode went quite well. And Leo might have hired me live on air after the show. It was a bizarre scenario. He goes, oh, that was Iyaz Akhtar. If you liked him, you're going to see him a lot on TNT. I get an IM from somebody saying, did you just get hired? I'm like, I don't know what just happened. Leo's a great guy. I love the guy, and I work with him on Know How, but he has a tendency to say things on air that a lot of people wouldn't. And there's nothing wrong with that. He lives with the camera, so I usually am very trepidatious when it comes to that. But, so they let me, once I passed that little test, I say, once I passed this major test, they gave me a job offer, and I got to go and do Tech News Today daily, and it's been fantastic. It's almost been 2 years. Next Thursday, it'll be 2 years I've been working at Tech News Today, and it's been great.
Well, congratulations on your anniversary of sorts.
Thank you.
All right, what a great interview, Shane. That's great. There's much more to come with Iyaz, and he talks about more privacy of the internet, and talks about a lot of other things, including another hobby of his, which is playing guitar, and he also belts out a tune. So that's real good. Now, I don't know about you, but I've related to a couple of things he said in that particular interview. Blowing up motherboards, yes, I've done that. I suppose everyone has had a go at doing that. Have you guys done that? Will, you would have.
None that I know of, because I've always been very careful with things like that, because it was something I learned early on. Yeah. I never did it, but I had seen people do it. Yeah. So as far as I know, I've never done it. I mean, it's possible, but I've never noticed. It's possible I've done some damage that hasn't showed up for a couple of weeks or something. I'm like, what is going on with this computer? It's related to something I did a couple of weeks ago.
What about you, Shane? Have you blown up any motherboards?
No, I had the same computer that he started with. I think he didn't actually say exactly what model Tandy he had, but I started with the Tandy, and
wow.
But no, I haven't done anything like putting parts in while the thing's still going.
I've done peripherals. I've had peripherals blow up, hooking them in back to front. In the old days of serial and parallel and COM ports, you use a serial to parallel adapter instead of a male to female serial adapter, and you plug that in and something fries. So I guess I've done peripherals, but I've been lucky enough I've never done internal damage.
Well, I've done two that have caused sparks, and one was when I was in year 8, actually, and the computers were just beginning to come into the schools, and we had these micro Bs, and we had this.
Yeah, we had them.
Yeah, we had this micro B that was a real good one. There was the normal black and white ones, and then this one was like a green superior micro B.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and for some reason, whatever, and which is they've obviously rectified these days with the way you plug the power plugs in. But there was two ways the power plug could go in. There was the right way and the wrong way. So I've come along and put it in the wrong way. So I put it in the wrong way and everything blew the backside out of it. And yeah, smelt for days. And I blamed it on something else. I can't remember what it was. And then the other one was, when I was first probably starting out in repairing computers. This is a long time ago as well. I think I started, I think the first motherboard, one of the first motherboards I grabbed, and I was, replacing it and putting the power supply back into it, connecting the power supply back up to it. And there was, how these days there's just the one, well, possibly two, but just the one connector for the power
Yeah,
cable.
the old AT ones had the split.
That's right.
18 pin.
That's right. And the black had to go against the black. Well, no,
Yep.
I didn't do that either, did I? I put them around the wrong way.
I think I may have done a couple of hard drives because on the old hard drives, they've got the old style Molex connectors.
Yeah.
Now, on cheap power supplies, Molex connectors don't really have cutouts. They're pretty much the same shape all the way around. So
Yeah, right.
unless you're really paying attention, it's very easy to plug a Molex connector in the wrong way.
Well, I don't think I've done a hard drive, but that's how I've done the two the two motherboards, and by crikey, I'll tell you, when I put those the power supply cords in the wrong way around, the little IBM Blue Lightning chip didn't know what hit it. I think it hit the fan. It blew out.
Just to reiterate the fact that, just in case some of your customers are listening, Glenn, you obviously know what you're doing these days. You're much better at it.
Oh, I'm much better now. Yes,
I wouldn't go.
That was
now he just doesn't tell them that he blows it up.
That's right. That happened. That happened 2, 3, 4 last week.
Days ago?
Yeah, that's right.
He had it. Now he just claims warranty before anyone knows.
Yeah, that's right. No. Upon my request, they made it so that wasn't split. It was all in one molded piece of plastic. See, they listened to me.
That was just for you, was it?
That's right. That's right. They would have heard the bang from where they were. The thing blew itself to smithers.
A lot of customers used to do this. They'd plug their computer in, and back in the old days, the old power supplies used to have a 110 and a 240 switch on the back of them.
Yes,
and
that's
the
right.
amount of customers who would up it while they're plugging it in, and next thing you know, they've got their power supply set to 110.
Bang.
And that goes bang.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law, who's an electrician, actually flicked that switch on purpose, thinking that he would fix the problem with his computer.
Oh, yeah, fixed it all right.
It's not like a turbo button. I mean, come on.
No, well, that's right. That's right. All right.
Dear.
Hey, now you guys.
I have to just quickly say,
yes.
I remember actually watching that first Twit interview or the show that he was on. I actually remember listening to that, and you could tell he was so freaking. Who wouldn't be? Quite funny, but yeah, no, that's right. He sort of just got thrown in at the deep end, and he's like, "Hi."
But you know what? He knows what he's talking about, and that's where you sink or swim. You sink if you don't know what you're talking about. If you know what you're talking about, you swim. And he definitely knows what he's talking about. As the interview progresses, he says he's in his Google Reader or whatever he is up to now. He's into that every 5 minutes. It's great. There's another quite a extensive extended part to that interview, and that'll be up on the aussietechheads.com.au/specials, and that'll be after this show airs. Okay, so it's not there right now.
Because that's where I'll be going after the show.
Yes, it's a great interview.
I haven't seen that yet.
No, well, you can go and have a look at that one.
I will.
Good.
Good. Fine.
Now, hopefully, tonight you can still call in and Skype in at Aussie Tech Heads. I am in control of the Skype tonight, but hopefully soon Will's going to take over that. But the Skype is Aussie Tech Heads, and you can call in probably towards the end of the show. We might have to have a little a noise, like we'll have the bell ring or something when you can call in, just so everyone knows.
A sheep farting or something, yeah.
Oh, that'd be nice, as long as it's not the dog, because you get the
smell to go with it.
Yeah, you get the whole box and dice with her. She comes a complete package.
And also too, there's a few people on Twitter and Facebook still saying they can't access the mobile site. We know we're working on it, and if everything goes according to plan within the next week to two, so hopefully by the end of the month, we've figured out the problem. We've figured out the solution. It's just we now have to implement it. So yeah, hopefully we'll get on top of that pretty quick.
So probably just quickly and basically what's happening is what we've got to do is we've got to stream 2 streams to the streaming server. One is for desktop, one is for mobile. I don't know why. Ustream doesn't seem to have that issue, but the mob we're using, Livestream, does. So we've got to stream 2. My computer, as great as it is not powerful enough to run everything that I'm doing plus another stream. So Will is going to re-stream the stream to the mobile. So that's what's working out. It looks like it's going to work. So we're there, but it's only iOS devices anyway, as far as I know. So Android, because it's only non-flash devices that have a problem. So anyway, that's where we're going. So cool. And also don't forget the hosting, aussietechheads.com.au/hosting. If you got a blog or if you want a blog or you're looking for somewhere to host a site, yeah, jump on in. Great plans. It's affordable and it's fast Australian service. So jump on and have a look in there, aussietechheads.com.au/hosting. We better get straight into some stories. And I think Shane will do his little tech history week. I don't know if he's picked any out of his favourites. He's got about 3,000 here. But we're going to see if we can pick 5 out. Oh, not 5. 3. How about we pick 3? Have you got 3 favourites?
Yeah, I can pick 3.
Go.
All right, let's go with April 1965. Cramming more components onto a integrated circuits by Gordon Moore. There's a hint. Was published in Electronics. More projected that over the next 10 years, the number of components per chip would double every 12 months. By 1975, turned out to be right, and the doubling became immortalized as Moore's Law.
He's boss.
Still pretty much accurate. Although, I don't know, maybe these last few years, maybe it may have slowed down. But up until a couple of years back, that was pretty much still happening.
We know how he got his job.
We did sort of say every 10 years.
You know how he got his job over there at that company? He said what was going on. Nothing much was going on, and the boss says we need more integrated circuits on this circuit board. We need more. So he got hired. Headhunted, just like that.
Boom, boom.
All right. Now, next one.
Is that one of those dad jokes?
Oh, I am a dad. Yes, so.
Because it's in the same sort of category.
Oh, I just had to, the quality of my jokes is outstanding. Okay, next one, please.
They stand all by themselves.
That's right.
April 20.
Yes.
Vladimir Zworskin. I practiced this all afternoon too. And his team from RCA demonstrate the first electron microscope. It measured 10 feet high and weighed half a ton, achieving magnification of 100,000 times.
Ooh, wow. Oh, there you go. Oh, and there's one. How about April 24, 1981? That one's close to my heart because I used to have one. Apple introduced the portable. I don't know if it was portable, was it? The portable Apple IIe. That wasn't portable.
Well, by portable, I meant you didn't need a forklift to move it.
No, but you did. You need the forklift to take the monitor with it.
Yeah, but you didn't have to use the monitor. You could use the RCA and plug it into a TV.
True. No,
I was
it
looking
wasn't.
at that thing.
It was an RF adapter.
I was looking at this one, and
I read that thing.
yeah, I was looking at this one, and the way it's actually typed up in the chronology of tech from Tom Merritt, it's actually typed up as Apple Lie, and I'm thinking I've never heard of one of them. But when you said Apple IIe, I thought,
oh, it is. It is.
Sense.
It does write Apple. You might have
because
to.
it's IIE.
Yes, but
is what it actually is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't know, what year was that? 81.
81. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, because I wonder. I remember I used to have a Compaq 286, which must have been not that much later. But I had a Compaq 286 all-in-one computer. It had a 4-inch CRT monitor. The thing was about 3 foot by 3 foot and about 6 inches high. And the keyboard used to flip up into the face of it to block it all off.
Oh, that was ugly things. Yeah, I remember those.
And you actually did need a forklift and 2 big assistants to carry that thing around.
Did that have the floppy drives built in as well?
Yeah,
right,
2 5.5. Yeah. The 4-inch CRT, 2 5.5-inch screens.
Yeah, 2 500 hard floppy drives. Yes, that's right. But maybe you should do a little sub note over there to the Tom and tell him to get the labelling of the Apple IIe right, because that does say Apple lie. But it's,
Well, I don't know.
I've never seen
Maybe it was a lie. It wasn't really portable. So
I've never seen it written like that before. It's just a mistake. It should have been probably
unless
2
it's the Lisa,
anyway.
unless it's supposed to be the Lisa. Maybe.
Well, that's what I thought, actually.
Ooh. Well, yeah, look, I don't know. I
The
remember.
Lisa 2.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
They were fairly small. They were only the size of a typewriter.
Maybe it isn't just a mistake all round. Yeah, well, here we go. The
Maybe
machine,
Apple never did anything ever.
well, the machine came with 128K of RAM and a 5.25-inch floppy disk drive. Well,
That sounds like a Lisa.
yeah, I think you might be right, because I don't think back then, even the Apple II Pluses or the Apple IIs, although you could get the floppy drives, they sort of came pretty much stocky standard. You plugged a cassette player into them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
and the Lisas had the SCSI flex ribbon floppy drives. But I guess, really, their first portable computer would have been the Mac Classic, really, because it was all in one.
Was that portable? I never even saw one.
The Mac Classic had the little 5-inch screen, little rectangle case.
Oh, that thing. Yeah.
That
I
would
used
have been
to.
their first portable
Yeah, I used to
computer.
work with one of those. Yeah, they were good.
Yeah.
They were good. Yeah, all right. Okay, cool.
Anyway.
Good. Anyway, moving right along. Good work. Thanks, Shane. Oh,
If I ever get a response from either Tim Cook or Steve Wozniak, we can ask
You'll
them.
ask them.
we can ask him. That's right. All right. Now, I don't know. I'll kick off with a story. Probably a big story this week is the LulzSec leader arrested on the Central Coast. I don't know if anyone's been following this, but the Australian Federal Police confirmed that they arrested an unnamed 24-year-old man from Point Clare yesterday, or earlier this week. The man was charged with hacking offences, and so he used to go out his back door and go.
That's a very broad...
Yeah. So
thing, isn't it?
hacking offences, no tissues or what? And is alleged to have defaced a government website. He's the first alleged member of the LulzSec group to be arrested by the AFP. There's other members have been arrested apparently, but must have obviously not been by the AFP. There's another.
Not in Australia, yeah. Most of them are like overseas, or they're all overseas.
Another dude went under the name of Recursion, who had pled guilty in April last year for an attack on Sony Pictures, and other members have pled guilty, including their leader, a Sabu. But getting back to old mate here on the Central Coast, the AFP said that he was an IT professional and held a position of trust within his unnamed company with access to sensitive information from clients, including government agencies. Oh, naughty.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Most
of course
IT
you do.
people have a position of trust.
That's right. I mean, you wouldn't be a hacker and sitting in your basement and not have any outside connections. I mean, there are a few, but most of them are all, you start on the inside,
Yeah. Well, I suppose depends on what and where he was working. I guess depends on how big his fine or his confinement is going to be. Because if it's anything to do with the government, you know how hard they'll come down on him. They'll be wanting blood if he, like, say he's working for, I don't know, Centrelink or something. If he's a hacker in Centrelink, oh geez, he's finished.
There's an oxymoron, isn't there?
Working and Centrelink.
Working at Centrelink.
I can't comment. Okay.
Because you know it's true.
I didn't say that. Now
You
remember.
didn't deny it, though.
Remember last week and probably the week before, we've been banging on about Kogan and the ISP1. And the judge last week told him to get out of there and someone should bang your heads together, work it out yourselves, go to mediation and sort yourselves out. Well, they went to mediation, but they didn't sort themselves out. I don't know if they got their heads banged together. But Kogan and ISP1 are set to have their day in court after the mediation between the two failed. ISP1...
An American court by the sound of it.
Yes, that's right. Oh, he was just been watching some TV. He was just doing a piracy case, and he had the thing up. All right, now those on the audio, I've just flashed a picture up, and it had an American flag in there. I didn't notice that at the start, but anyway. Now, thanks for pointing it out. Now, ISP1 plans to lodge a counterclaim this week, arguing. Now, this is where it gets a bit silly. Arguing that Kogan's mobile decision to promote unlimited plans meant it was engaging in misleading and deceptive conduct. Well, we know that is misleading and deceptive conduct because I think Optus has been pinged for that before. But however...
So a few of them have.
Yeah, but if you remember last week when we were talking about this, wasn't one of Kogan's counteracts against ISP1 was in the ISP1 contract. It said there was unlimited. So
yeah, Kogan didn't write the contract. They passed on their provider's contract. So if there's anything written in the contract that's wrong, that's not Kogan's fault.
No. So I don't see is there more to this, or does ISP1 just go, we've got more money than Kogan, we'll just keep going. Just keep going until he just goes away.
They go, we're getting hammered and we can't afford this. Let's just declare bankruptcy and be done with it.
ISP1? They belong to Telstra, don't they?
Yeah, I know. But, it just sort of seems like,
they're just gonna...
well, actually, that's probably why, because they belong to Telstra. Telstra are never wrong.
No. The trial is expected to commence on Monday in the Supreme Court. Maybe the Supreme Court can bang their heads together. I don't know.
They need more of that in court. You come here. You come here. Whack.
No,
there you go.
Yeah,
go away.
Bang. See you later. Did that work? Did you work yourselves out? Yes. Okay, get out. Or you can smash their heads with his little, what do they call these little banger? He's not an anvil, it's a gravel. Isn't it? What is it?
Come here, let me hit your head with my banger.
Oh, you guys. All right. All right. Well, we obviously know where this episode's going, and it's going down fast. I don't know about those other guys. I think they've had a few drinks on Anzac Day just quietly. But you know what happens. A bit of two up and a bit down the papa. But so that's the way that goes. All right. Now, well, while they're all in fits of bloody hysterics, I'm going to go another story. I don't care who's been... Oh, look at them. Look at them. They're crazy. All right, a couple of quick ones while they try and compose themselves. The Surface Aussie Pro looks like the launch dates for Australia are being firmed up. Microsoft is set... Oh, God. Microsoft... Look at these clowns, will you? Have a look at these clowns. Oh, trying to do a professional, respectable show, and all you get is clowns. Someone should bang your heads together. All right. Where was I? Microsoft is set to release its Surface Pro tablet in Australia next month, way ahead of the schedule. Apparently, it was supposed to be August, but anyway, they've come out next month. The Windows 8 tablet sells in the US for Australian dollars 862 for 64 gig model and 968 Australian for the 128 gig model in the US. So I'd say that the prices are going to be somewhere near there, unless that Microsoft just goes, well, we'll see what we can charge. If we get away with it, we will. That seems to be the run of the mill.
Which is what I do, yeah.
Run of the mill. Oh, you're back with us. Thanks, Will. Good. Now, all right. Now, is there any point in Nah, there's no point in asking Shane for a story just yet. He's still...
Right.
Oh, okay, well, what's your story you got here, little bloody Miss Laugh-A-Lots? No, he's still going. All right. Now, I'll tell you what about how about Click Frenzy? That's back. And
it didn't fall apart this time.
It didn't fall apart. Remember last time? We'll just fill you in if you don't know. Last time, when was that, Will? Last year sometime, wasn't it?
This time last year, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, so...
No, it was in November, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yeah, I thought
it was too. That's
going to be November. So the organisers behind the shopping event, Click Frenzy. Now, this is supposed to be similar, or it's aimed to sort of replicate some Black Friday event that the US guys have. But anyway... Yep. Where a lot of stuff is put online cheap. You go and buy it, and it's just like it's a Black Friday Click Frenzy. The organisers behind the shopping Click Frenzy have dumped their hosting provider UltraServe. So UltraServe, obviously they couldn't handle the impact of Click Frenzy in November. Amazon's come to the rescue in a bid to avoid the embarrassing glitches which met last year's November debut. That's right, November. The end of the year Click Frenzy sales Australia's answer. Yeah, we said all that. The website experienced a high volume of traffic and was inaccessible within minutes of going live, staying down for the first 3 hours of the 24-hour sale. That was in November, but this year everything seems to have gone pretty much according to plan. You haven't heard any problems, any of you guys? I think that it's all gone according...
I actually went on it. I went on it with you know, after, well, it was probably 10 minutes after it ended, but it was still fast, so it seemed all right.
Yep, cool. So,
And, was there any stories that sort of said how many people that they got this year?
no, I think it's only just happened, hasn't it? I think we'll probably wait for all those stats.
Yeah, the new one's back up to 60 days. I just had a look down at 60 days and somewhat hours, so it must have only happened. I think it's only just finished.
So what is it? What is there? Is it Click Frenzy every week or something?
Every event, like if you go to Click Frenzy and have a look, you'll see the next one that they're doing is 60 days and 24 hours, which is end of financial year sale. And then the one after that will be the Father's Day. And then, so yeah, they do all these different events.
Right, okay.
The Mother Day sale has concluded, which was the last one they had, which finished on 7 p.m. June 25th. June 25th? That can't be right.
No.
Oh, no. They've got, yeah. So they've got the wrong date up there. They're talking about the next one. But yeah, so they go through and just tell you. They don't tell you any statistics. They do. The only thing they do is they tell you all the people who are up there. So if you go and have a look, you'll see that the Mother's Day one was, Myer and Apple and Chemist Warehouse and Jag and Masters, and there's a whole list. But you don't see that until after the sale.
But
so.
what are the prices really that good, or are they just a little bit of a discount, or are they really?
Well, it's entirely up to the person who's doing it. I mean, I remember in some of the reports that didn't crash last year, some of them were saying that stuff was 90% off retail, and some stuff was 3% off. So it just depends. Sometimes you'll get a voucher. You might get a $50 gift card for $40. You might get a $50 gift card for $50, but you also get something as well. So.
Yeah, that's all right. Now, Shane, you've got a little story there about the Xbox. What's going on with Xbox there?
Yeah, Microsoft is expected to unveil in May the successor to the Xbox 360. Apparently, they're going to call it the Xbox 720, or that's the kind of the name that everyone sort of.
That's been the rumor since it came out, though. But I can't see them doing that.
Yeah.
The Xbox rip-off.
Microsoft sent out invitations on Wednesday to a May 21st event in its main campus at Redmond, Washington. And the Xbox team will reveal a new, where it's expected they'll reveal a new generation. Industry tracker NPD Group reported last week that as of the end of March, the Xbox 360 is the top-selling console in the United States for 20 consecutive months. More than 70 million Xbox 360 consoles have been sold worldwide. We've got one. And since they were introduced back in 2005, the new generation Xbox would take the field against the latest offerings from Sony and Nintendo.
Now, look, I've got an Xbox here, and what I find discouraging, if I could put it that way, with it, and why it doesn't get used as much as, I suppose, look, it wasn't probably really bought for a full-on games machine. It was given to us as a gift. And, well, I've unpacked it, obviously, and I've hooked it up and everything. But I'm a bit saddened that, you can't even watch YouTube on it without having to join up with the Microsoft Gold, which will cost you about $70 a year. There's a lot of those type of things. You can't really do too much of what I think you should be able to do for free.
Well, aside from that, too, you couldn't really use it as a media center because they're so damn loud.
No, mine's quiet. Yeah, you can't hear mine.
You must have the only one.
Well, I have got. Well,
I've heard some of those things.
I think mine's the one without the hard drive. It's just got the flash.
Oh, okay. The light or whatever they called it.
Yes. But I've got it set up as the media extender, and it connects to my Windows Media Center fine. That's beautiful. I like it to do that. That does play games. I like the games that it's on there. The connector's good. But, you just thinking, okay, you turn it on, you think, I want to just do YouTube, and you can't. And there's a couple of other things that you think you should be able to do for free, like a web browser. You can't. You've got to subscribe $70 a year. I don't think PlayStation is like that. I think that's free, isn't it, to join up?
Free.
So,
I mean, things did come out of it, like XBMC come out of it, for example. So it had its benefits. But, I mean, as I said, a mate of mine used one for a media center in his bedroom. The thing's that damn loud. Even when it's in idle and standby, you you've got to turn it off. It's just insanely loud. So,
But is that
his is an earlier one too, but.
Yeah, so is that like replicated across all that line? Were they all loud, or was it just like he's dropped his or something?
No, well, all the ones I've heard are quite loud. I mean, I've only heard probably a dozen or so, but every one that I've heard is loud.
Are these the ones that got the red ring of death? Are those ones?
Well, I think all of them were susceptible to that up until a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
when
right.
they just finally changed the mounting point. Because what happened, basically the way they had them mounted was it was pressing against the motherboard. And when they got really hot, when they were being worked hard, was the motherboard actually bent. And all it was the CPU pushed out of the socket. So there was a few workarounds on YouTube, one of which was to put a big cross brace under the screws so it held it all together.
Oh,
and that's
okay.
actually what Microsoft did when he took them back for warranty and they sent them away. They would actually put this big cross brace under them to pull it all back in.
Now, there's some funny videos on YouTube about how to, like serious videos. Not. I don't think they were supposed
like
to be
throw a towel
Yes.
over them.
Wrap it in a towel.
Don't do that.
Wrap it in a towel. Run it for 6 hours.
Yeah, block the fans. The reason it works is because it remelts the solders that have come loose when it's moved.
Right.
Now, but all it's going to do is it's going to break them again. If you fix it, put that cross brace in, and then wrap it in a towel, it'll get hot enough to remelt those solders. And because you've got the new bracing in there, it won't be a problem.
YouTube's a funny place. Now, there was a tweet through the week that came from the AAP Twitter account, and it falsely claimed that there had been explosions at the White House and that President Obama was hurt. Now, this is because it was hacked. This account had been hacked. The tweet was up for a few minutes and retweeted by more than 3,000 by more than 3,000 times before Twitter took the account offline. The AP immediately confirmed the news was bogus, but the tweet was up long enough to send a shudder through the stock market, which plunged 143 points before recovering.
Which is about 136 billion stock dollars. Or $136 billion. Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I'll see something come through the Twitter. I just don't believe it. I'll go if there's a link. I'll probably link to it, or I'll do a search to see if I can get.
Part of the problem was too. It was actually, according to this story anyway, says that it was actually their website was hacked again, and the link was corresponding to the website, and the official website was hacked again, and the story was on there. So.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, right. So.
But you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Hard.
As good as Twitter is, I mean, look what happened in the Boston bombing and stuff like that. And as good as Twitter is, there's still news coverage if it's a major event.
Now, two things with this story that they were saying on TV today is that it wasn't actually hacked, so to speak. They didn't break into the thing. Basically, what they'd done apparently is through phishing sort of scams, they actually got passwords from the journalists. And just basically logged in with their passwords. And then the other thing is why the actual stock market took a dive is because, now I'm not clear whether it's actually big companies or individuals that do this, but somewhere they actually have algorithms that keep track of things like Twitter and social media, and they actually look for certain words. And if they get these words, if it sees these words, it then automatically on behalf of the people who own the stock actually sell the stock.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily people panicking. It's these algorithms that kicked in, and then people probably piled on top of that, thinking, "Well, hang on, everything's kind of falling apart here, and I'm selling everything."
Yeah.
They did. That's the problem with everything being automated too. But on the upside, Twitter has implemented a new two-step verification process, so this doesn't happen again now. And basically what it means is that you can have, if you're a important Twitter account like the White House or, you, Glenn, you'd be an important person to have this feature.
Yeah, I've got it.
What it basically does is it will actually send, don't say a lot about it. From what I can gather, they send an email and a text message or an SMS or some other. They send two forms of verification if a tweet triggers certain processes.
Yep.
So so hopefully that's going to
Yeah, so if you're going to tweet
fix that problem.
something stupid like President Dead or something, well, it's probably going to hopefully get picked up, and it's not going to get out to the real world. Now, speaking of Twitter, Twitter has also launched a music app, an Aussie-powered music app. I think last week we mentioned that they had bought, where is it? They had bought something that someone in Australia made. What was it? Some hunting? What's that? Oh, I can't see it. Anyway, We Are Hunted. That's right. The app was based on technology developed by an Australian startup called We Are Hunted. Now, Twitter has launched a standalone music streaming app, opening another front in the Twitter's service ambitious expansion into multimedia. The iPhone app called Hash Music, it was the sharp symbol, Hash Music, will recommend and stream songs based on who users follow on Twitter and artists' recommendations. The songs will be streamed via Audio and Spotify, the subscription-based music services, and iTunes, blah, 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 blah. So there's a little picture of the Hash Music. And it will be available in the US, Canada, UK, Ireland, Australia, and New Zealand Friday, tomorrow. So jump on that tomorrow morning on your iPhone App Store or wherever else you want to get it from. Yeah, well, you can only get it from the App Store, can't you? It's only on iTunes.
Yeah.
So there you go. What else have I got? Shane, have you got anything else? Or Will, have you got anything?
Yeah, there's just a couple of stories on Apple that I want to do, but just one quickly, just to prove that even our US ambassador's got nothing better to do. He's pleading with Australian citizens, please don't pirate Game of Thrones now that you can watch it only a few days later. According to the American ambassador, or the Australian ambassador in America, we're one of the worst countries for pirating it. He says, we do not offer it online because we do not wish people to watch it that way.
That's
now,
right. Apparently,
they show statistics here, okay? There is, what they say, 4 million people who watched Game of Thrones legally, so on TV. Right? So 4 million people watched it legally. 1 million people that they know about watched it illegally. So effectively 25, well, hang on, it's not 20, it's 20%, isn't it, of their audience is watching it online. If you have 20% of your audience watching your show online, wouldn't you put your show online?
Yeah, you'd think of some other way of advertising, maybe like in product placements and all this sort of stuff. But
the other thing it doesn't show you as well is I know a lot of people who watch it online and the reason they watch it on TV because it's on and their family wants to watch it. It's heavily edited and it's apparently destroyed when you watch it on TV.
Okay.
And you can only watch it on pay TV as well. But he downloads it and watches it as well because he gets the full episode, not a hacked episode. Oh. And so he's actually watching it twice. Yeah. So that's not a bad thing, surely.
Nah, that's not a bad thing.
So basically, good to see our ambassador's, doing his job and he's not worried about, anything else that's possibly happening in the States, like, I don't know, getting Julian Assange back home and things like that. But the thing I wanted to quickly mention, a couple Apple stories just quickly. Apple profit falls for the first time in decades. So basically...
I think we did that last week. Didn't we?
Well, it only happened a day ago, so,
I predicted it last week.
Their stock fell last week, but now their profit's falling this week.
Right.
Yeah, their profit declined for the first time in 10 years. So basically, they only cleared $9.5 billion profit instead of $11.6 billion.
Get out the Hessian rugs.
Yeah, that's going to be hard. That's going to, they're going to be knocked down to 3 throws instead of 4.
That's right. Yeah.
But and
just before I just got to say sorry, Will. Just before you go on, I just got to go and deal with something. Can you hold on a second? Yes, they're doing it tough. You got another Apple story there, Will?
Yeah, just quickly, a bit of a turnaround, actually. Normally we're hearing about Apple suing somebody in China or for a copyright breach, but it turns out that there's actually 3 Chinese writers who are suing Apple for copyright breach.
Yeah, right.
Basically what happened was these guys wrote stories or, books on various different things, and Apple put them into their bookstore, not only without the permission of the writers, but without even the royalties or the credits being given to them. So basically, pretty much these guys are suing. I mean, it's not a lot of money. Between the three of them, they're suing for $118,000, dollars. But that's 730,000. What is it? Yarn.
Oh, yeah. Do you reckon that? Do you reckon that that's big? It is a relatively low amount to be suing Apple for. Do you reckon it may be purposely? Ooh, what does that mean? Ooh. Oh, now it's all going to start happening. I've just got an error in VidBlast. Canvas does not allow drawing. Oh, what does that mean?
It means you can only paint on it.
But if I go okay, it's probably going to close. Only. It's going to close stuff down. No, I think we'll just keep going. It's still recording. And we'll just keep going. All right. So, so it's low enough. Do you think that it could be possibly said that we'll go for 100,000, and then look, they're not going to even worry about doing that. They'll just pay us.
Well,
they'll pay us.
That, but I mean, you've got to think too that that's a lot of money. I mean, for them, that's probably 10 years' wages. And it's given the fact that, for example, one of the books was it says here one of the writers involved. His book his books are often bestsellers across the country, and so basically, there's three writers. There's more than 3 books. There's quite a lot of books. So I guess probably what they're doing is they're saying, well, hang on, we've figured it out that over the last couple of years that you've been doing this, you've sold X amount of these books, and that's pretty much what we would have earned if we had been selling them. So
yeah, fair enough.
It's only a small amount, but it just goes to show you that everybody goes, oh, Apple, they deserve to win all these copyrights and everything because they're being done against and blah blah blah. They're no better than anyone else. I mean, if they want something, they'll take it, and they're not afraid to. I mean, look at iTunes. iTunes got built-in screen recorder software, screen capture software that captures everything you do and sends it back to Apple for their vetting. It's not in their terms of service anywhere, but do some hunting around, you'll find people who have caught the packets that are going out. So
yeah, right.
They're bad, but they're just bad in a sneaky way. They're not bad in an open way.
They're sneaky bad. They're sneaky bad. Now, now the next part is going to really enthrall the listeners and watchers. But look, I'm going to have to click OK on this dialogue box because it won't let me do anything else. So I'm going to click OK, and let's see what happens. I'm predicting that VidBlast is going to close.
If your TARDIS explodes.
That's right. And look, I've got more stories. So, look, I might just stop the audio so you guys don't... Oh, there's another one. Oh, it won't let me draw on that canvas. I don't know what that means. All right. Hang on. I'll get me mouse on the...
I think it's green screen.
Oh, okay. Hang on. So we'll stop
green
that.
Screen problem.
I'm just going to save the audio. Okay, guys, here we go. We go, okay. Okay. Oh, we're still running. We're still rolling. Cool. Yep. Still changing. Still changing.
It's probably we're going to add a little bit on the green screen.
Okay. Well, now we've got to go here and we'll start up again and we'll go.
Man, my video. No, I want to apologise for that too.
All right, and so sorry, audio. We are back, and nothing happened, so we're good. We're still going. I closed the dialogue boxes, and we're still going. Now, Will, he's got an apology, haven't you, Will? You got an apology?
Well, actually, I should. I'm apologising on behalf of Optus Cable, who suck. Apparently, they're great. They give me 100 meg download, but today they've decided to give me 256k upload. So my video is horrible. My audio is probably not much better.
Audio's okay.
So yeah, thanks, Optus. Hey,
there goes another sponsor.
Yeah, so thank you, Optus. Yes, scumbags. So I've got to ring up and find. It's gradually been getting worse and worse over the last couple of months, and it's been hovering around. Like when it started, it was 2 meg down. It's gradually been coming down for the last sort of 6 weeks. It's been hovering around 600 to 700k, and tonight it's like between 200 and 300. So, yeah, I don't know. I give up. But actually, it's interesting. Having said that, there's a new statistics have been, apparently Optus are infecting my brain as well. There's been new statistics released that say that over the last 12 months, in 2002 calendar year, the average internet speed in Australia dropped by 23%.
Yes, I heard that.
Yeah. So basically, what it means is that we're now ranked 41st out of 98, which dropped us. I think we were ranked like 12th or 13th. So we've dropped like 20 odd spots.
What's going on?
The average is now 4.2 meg per second is the average connection speed in Australia. Now, bearing in mind that they're only monitoring download speeds, I can guarantee you the average upload speed would be 256 to 300 probably K.
Well, maybe this might shine a bit of a light onto things, and maybe Shane, have you noticed any speed ups in your internet? Probably not. But anyway,
no, because I've only got ADSL.
Oh, you still could have experienced a surge because apparently the Perth Singapore undersea cable has been repaired. It's been down for about 3 months. Repairs to the Perth Singapore leg of an undersea cable that was cut in January has finally been completed, with connectivity restored yesterday at 11 a.m. Perth time. Taking almost 4 months to complete the restoration of the 480 gigabyte per second CME 3 cable was. I don't. Hey,
banger, I suppose.
I just say him. I don't name him. I just say him. All right.
What happens when he goes to court? The judge hits him with his banger.
Oh well. He'll break the cable. Now,
snap the cable off, eh?
So whatever cable it is, I'm not saying that again. All right, so, well, you get the idea. It's been repaired.
Basically, unless you're in Western Australia, you're not going to notice a difference.
That's right.
That's the story.
And apparently, it only affected pretty much Office 365 or something because they were hosted in Singapore or something.
Yeah, wherever the Singapore servers are. So if you had some of the backup hosts, some of the things like that, if you went to google.ch, for example, regularly, you would notice a difference. That's about it.
Okay. Now, was there any more Apple stories? I think Shane had an Apple story. Didn't you, Shane?
No.
Yes.
There was one more,
it's kind of like an Apple story, I suppose.
Steve Wozniak.
One about the Steve Wozniak thing?
Yeah.
Or were you talking about the kids' wagon school?
No, well, whichever one takes your fancy. Steve Wozniak. Let's do that one.
All right, since that takes my fancy, we'll do that one.
As long as it takes someone's fancy, that's all that matters.
Oh, it's got mine. Okay.
Oh, no.
What's Steve Wozniak doing?
Taking your fancy, apparently.
I hope he brings it back.
In one piece, unused.
That's right.
There goes the interview.
Well, don't worry, we still love you. I'll take that fancy back when I see you next.
That's right. So Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak has said that he is confident that Apple will launch new products. Oh, aren't we all happy about that?
Oh, how lucky are they?
Yeah.
You get to spend more money on the same crap in a different box.
Oh, he said...
And then he goes on to say, Apple stock's a little low right now. Wozniak said at the Login Technology Conference on Friday. Over time, he's seen Apple go through 2 times, go up or down 2 times over a few months. I actually thought he kind of switched him as more of an Android fan, but obviously he's jumped back on the Apple bandwagon.
So one of his comments was that the new products will surprise and shock us all and help boost the company.
So they're going to be defective, are they?
Yeah, maybe. No. He's probably hinting towards or getting at, not that he probably is in the loop, but he's probably going towards these little watches that everyone seems to be wanting to bring out. Microsoft.
He's not on the board anymore, is he?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. He's on the outer. Yeah, he's on the outer. Maybe he's trying to get back in.
Right. Yeah,
maybe
sorry, I'm thinking of someone else.
Maybe Apple's looking for a new soul, you know what I mean? Like a new heart to the company. He'd be perfect. I said that last year sometime. I said, bring back Woz. But, yeah. All right, what other stories have I got here?
Well,
Yeah,
It's funny you're mentioning watches and I think Shane may have said it, the watches and the things that are coming out. And the Pebble e-paper watch is going gangbusters. It's really taken off. It started off as a Kickstarter project a while back, and basically, the e-reader screens. So they always display a static image until the actual screen updates, so they don't use any much battery life.
Yeah.
So there's Pebble has basically started releasing their range of these e-screen e-paper watches, and they're quite small. They look like a chunky sort of sports watch. They're fully customizable. They come with obviously a display, and they come with Bluetooth technology, which basically allows you to patch them into your phone. So if you receive a phone call or a text message or an email or something like that, you can just look at your watch, see who it was from. It has has 4 buttons on the watch, so it interacts with the phone. You can do things like that.
Yeah, nice.
One of our listeners and somebody I talk to regularly, Warlock, he and I can't think of his real name. I've got a complete blank because I'm hopeless like that. Jason, yeah. He's actually he's working on a, because they're fully customizable, they've got their own APIs to customize what's on the thing. So he's working on one. He reckons it's pretty great.
Yeah,
so
nice.
They're, what are they, $150, I think it is.
Okay.
You can order one. They're only in black at the moment, although there will be more colours later. And I think the battery life on them is supposed to be pretty. It's supposed to be pretty amazing because of the screen doesn't use any power unless it's actually doing something.
Refreshing
so
something, yeah, nice.
Yeah, so
that's all right.
That'll be pretty cool.
We should We should follow Jace on that and see how he progresses.
Yeah, I'm actually waiting till he gets the program actually not as buggy, and I'll have a chat to him about it. So
yeah, cool. Now I think finishing up with Apple, I think this will be my definitely last Apple story. I'm hopefully it'll be the last one of the week. But iTunes celebrates 10th year, 10 years birthday on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, eh? So it's been around 10
years.
And
I celebrate 10 years of never putting it on my computer.
Oh, well done. No, I used to put it on my computer even when I had the Android phone. I still liked it. I was still... Look, I don't see why you don't like it. Why? I don't know why.
Because it's slow and horrible. Now, it's one of those programs that was written for a Mac. Yeah, it's a Mac Apple program. It runs, and as far as I'm aware, I mean, I could be wrong, I've never used it, but it pretty much always run flawlessly on Macs. But its Windows iteration is pretty much inherently horrible, and
I don't have a problem.
Measurably slows down your computer. Like is that
what happens?
You install it and your computer starts to run half the speed. So,
yeah, look,
myself, I have used it on other computers. I've made sacrificial computers that I install iTunes and viruses onto. But I've never had a purpose for it because I've never had an iPhone either. So
all right.
You don't, you need it with if you've got an iPhone, an iPad, iPod, whatever, you do need to use it.
Right.
Well, at least you did. I don't know about the new ones.
But now I'm going to stick up for Apple, and of course Shane's got a story here. New discovered Android malware was downloaded millions of times. So security firm Lookout has detailed a clever new bit of Android malware lurking in the Google Play Store. The good news, unless you're downloading questionable Russian clone apps, you're probably not affected. So the bad news?
Yeah, pretty much.
This hasn't kept it from being downloaded a few million times.
Now, the problem is that story is 2 weeks out of date, because remember last week or the week before we were talking about how Google was cleaning up their Play Store, and any developer who had bad marks against their name was being taken down?
Yep.
Well, that happened and they got taken down 2 weeks before this story was released. So, don't worry about that.
No. All right, well, speaking of Android, and on the upside...
And that story came courtesy of TechCrunch.
Thank you. Now, if you want to know where... Excuse me for a second.
There's a couple of things happening with the Android this week.
I was just going to say, for those, if you do want to know where all our stories come from, you can just go to the AussieTechHeads.com.au webpage /podcast. Go to the webpage and check out the show notes section, because every show note that I put up and every show note that Shane puts up has a link back to the source, so we all know where they
And
come
with
from.
me, you've just got to try and follow along. It's like follow the bouncing balls. See?
You've got to email Will
Karaoke.
personally. Yeah, got to email Will personally. Now, look, I'm going to try and play you something else. Now, this should hopefully transgress the audio visual realm and be suitable for both formats. So, now this is a short little video about the Galaxy S4 that was launched, and Daniel from Live Tech Australia. So you can find all his reviews. He does a lot of great little reviews, and the production values are high. Very good. I wish I knew how to do really nifty things like he does. Now, you can find on his YouTube at youtube.com/Live Tech Australia. Okay, all one word. But hang on, we're going to play his little S4 bit. And this will give you a very brief overview of what the S4 is about.
The next big thing is in Australia. Hey, it's Daniel with Live Tech Australia. Last night, Samsung unveiled its brand new Galaxy S4 to the Australian public. The S4 will be available on the 27th of April for $8.99. I was quite surprised with how well the actual gestures worked on the phone. Although I can't really see myself using it personally, it did work very well. Of course, there was dual camera mode, which everyone was pretty much excited to test. This seemed to work quite well, but for some weird reason, the firmware had to be updated on all the cameras on the demo phones before we could actually use it. One neat little feature with the S cover is that some of them have windows, so you can actually see notifications. I did notice, however, that whenever you close the S cover, it did not turn off the screen, which will actually probably drain your battery life. So you have to remember to actually turn the phone off and then close the screen. One of the things that stood out to me was how light it was. When I picked it up, it reminded me of the first time I picked up the iPhone 5. It was so light, it felt like it had no battery in it, and it was just awesome. The S4's 1080p screen is absolutely beautiful to look at. It's bright, and the colors are really punchy and saturated, which I love. With Samsung and Android on a whole taking away market share from the iPhone, are you interested in Android? Let me know in the comments below, or even leave a video response. There are a plethora of features that the new S4 brings to the table, but when it comes to day-to-day use, will you even use 3/4 of them? I personally doubt it. I'm Daniel for Live Tech Australia. Remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more awesome videos. Until next time, we'll see you later.
All right, yes. So that was a quick... Oh, what's that? That was a... I'm knocking things over. That was a real quick review at the launch that Dan went to. So good on you, Dan. youtube.com/LiveTechAU. And go there if you got a comment or you like what you saw in this video, please do subscribe to him and please do go and comment so he knows that you've seen it. Oh, okay.
Was that launch event available to the public, or is he a press member, or what?
I think he gets in as a press.
Press, yep.
Yep. I think that was launched at the Opera House, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
That would have been nice. It's a shame I don't live in Sydney. I'd like to go to a couple of these. When are they going to launch something in Brisbane?
Sydney's the only place in Australia that anything ever happens. It's that's the only place in Australia.
Well, they got the Harbour Bridge, haven't they?
They got a coat hanger. Great.
All right. Did you have any more stories, Shane, or you're just about there? Or Shane first?
No real kind of meaty ones. I'll just quickly kind of go through just the good points. I had a story about some sort of science fair, the White House Science Fair, and 3 teenage kids come up with some brilliant kind of inventions: a 3D printer, mind-controlled, 3D printed mind-controlled artificial limb thing.
They're controlling your mind now.
Yes. Some 17-year-old girl invented a way of detecting cancer.
Ooh.
And tactile sound. An 8th grader invented some sort of other way of like a hearing aid thing, but using the vibrations of sound through the skull. I think that's how that kind of works.
Geez, 8th grade.
All these kids are around about all the ages are around about 17.
When I was in the 8th grade, I was blowing up microbees. I wasn't inventing anything. I was blowing stuff up. All right. Now, Will, what did you want to finish up on?
I just wanted to quickly talk about the S4 versus the HTC One, which is sort of what the rivalry is at the moment. The two big sort of things to come out at the moment, and relatively similar. You know, the Samsung did have a 1.6 gig octa-core, but we're not getting it here because it's not compatible with 4G. So we get the 1.9 quad-core, and the HTC One's the 1.7 quad-core. Other than that, the screen sizes are virtually the same. The only difference, supposedly, is that the camera on the Samsung is a 13 megapixel, which I highly doubt.
Who wants to use that
and
anyway?
it's probably a more realistic 4 megapixel on the one. They're both 1080. They both run all the networks. The main differences is the S4 has 16, 32, and 64 gig, whereas the one only has 32. And the battery in the one is not removable, whereas it is in the Samsung. Now, all the polls I've seen, basically 50-50 which one you would buy. I think Warlock was looking at getting the HTC One, I believe. I could be wrong. He was looking at the S4, and I think he may have settled on the One, but he's now in the chat room because his ears were burning. So he'll correct me on that. So, yeah, I mean, the Note 2 does, if you want to... he did get the One, yeah. So if you want most of those features that are available, the Note 2 does pretty much everything. It has a slightly higher processor. Obviously, it has a bigger screen, which is a problem for some people. But the other thing I wanted to mention, people complain that the screen size on the Note 2 is too large. You'll be pleased to know that Galaxy has just released the 8-inch Note.
Sweet. They've got a lot of screen sizes out there.
Which is effectively the same as the Note 2, except with a bigger screen. I think last week we went through the listing chart of Samsung, and basically they cover every screen size from, I think it's like 1.6 inch to 14 or something. So they've pretty much got the market covered on that.
That sounds like it.
So yeah, so it's interesting. The people who have the One say the One's a better phone. The people who have the S4 say the S4's a better phone. I've always been a big fan of HT. Right back to the first Android phone I had was a HTC. This is the first Samsung I've had, so I find them both to be great phones. I've played with them in the shops, so
cool.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. Let us know.
Isn't the HTC just straight Android, whereas Samsung's their version of Android, or a thing over the top?
Samsung's got the what's it called? The thingy they use, which is. I'm having a TouchWiz is what they use on their interface. I'm sure HTC will have something of their own modification. Sense is what they use. So they're all vanilla Android. They're all 4 point something. What are they? 4.2 or whatever it is. But they use their own skins on that to personalize it, which is, I guess, in some respects, it's a good thing because you can pick up a HTC and you know it's a HTC because of Sense. You can pick up a Samsung and know it's a Samsung because of again, TouchWiz. But at the same time, you lose, if you ever...
Logos probably give it away too.
Well, yeah, but I mean, if you're just to pick it up and, in a blind test. But... once you root a phone, like this is my old Desire, which I won't have for much longer, but this has CyanogenMod on it, and once that went on, it was an entirely different phone again. So, there's no vanilla experience with most of unless of course you get a Nexus. But having said that, they all have their own advantages and disadvantages as well, and you really just need to play with the phone and find out what is going to be usable for you, what's comfortable for you. If you want an iPhone, you want something that's, you by all means use an iPhone, but now it's just you have to choose the device that's suitable for you.
Now, talking of skins, and everything has a skin these days, your Winamp skins and this and that skins. Well, I found a fridge skin. Yep, that's right. A fridge.
Yeah, I thought you'd get that story.
And have a look at the skin, eh? Look at that one. It's a TARDIS skin for $185. Artists and engineers B.E. Johnson and Joy Alyssa Day, who will gladly make your very own TARDIS refrigerator for $185. It comes with an optional audio module to make TARDIS-y noises for $12 and side skins for $65. all the designers will install also the designers will install an ice maker inside the telephone for $14. Oh yeah, this is the go. This is the go. Look at that baby, eh? If you're on the audio, go and have a look at it. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Have you got the story that says they haven't quite figured out how to make it as big inside yet?
Yeah, I think that puts us none of it. Yeah, but there you go. Now, I think my last story, and probably the show's last story, is something that is probably well left to the end. It's Durex app makes cyber sex a real thing. Now, I didn't get the YouTube video because it could be a bit
I was waiting for that.
risque, but you can.
I have to admit, if you have never watched some of the Durex ads, you have to go on YouTube and watch them. They are hilarious, absolutely hilarious.
We'll go and have a look at this one. Now, Durex, if you don't know, Durex are makers of condoms. Now, you go and have a look at this one. The link to YouTube is in the show notes. I'm not going to say it because it's 1,000 words long, but go and have it in the show notes. Now, the company designed a pair of funderwear. Men and women's undies, which are equipped with technology that mimics human touch and is controlled by an app. Now, this stunt...
This won't end badly.
The stunt is part of a global PR campaign called The Future of Foreplay, which launched 2 days ago. So what happens is, you and your partner in different parts of the world put on the underwear, and then the app comes up, and there's little touch-sensitive spots on your screen. So you touch a spot, and that will mimic
and you touch a spot. Funnily enough,
yeah, and that will touch the spot and mimic your touch through the underwear on the person's underwear on the other side of the world.
And see, this is the thing. This is the good thing. You've got to tune in and watch the live stream because the link is in the chat room for those who are watching. So there you go.
There you go. So the link, well, Will's put it in the lounge, so that's great. But otherwise, just go.
I am slightly concerned that this video has been up for 5 days and there is 4 million views.
Yeah, well.
So maybe that's how we need to get more people on our channel. We'll have to sit around watching in front of a computer in our underwear. I mean, it worked for them.
Well, it makes it easy when the chick in the ad, she's hot. So that's good. All right. Okay, so
I was watching the person, they're playing the phone, the touching the phone touch, the fingering.
Will, calm down, settle down, Will. Calm down, Will. Oh, I knew we shouldn't have. You shouldn't be watching this live. I tell you. Okay. All right.
All right. Well, this story that I'm about to mention also is incredibly important, and we have to mention it.
Okay.
Couldn't, especially following up with that previous story. It's critical that everybody knows about it. And of course, you guys know about the Mars rover. I mean, it's multi-billion-dollar technology up in space, controlled by NASA engineers and everything. And there's it's under full control, and it's slightly intelligent and have a mind of its own. And it also acts like an 8-year-old child because the Mars rover decided that it wanted to draw a penis in the sand and take a photo of it.
If you could call it that.
I mean, you can't beat that. I mean, that's the ultimate use of a multi-billion-dollar technology is drawing penis in the sand.
So now,
Mummy, look what I drew.
All the interstellar spacecrafts, they'll fly over Mars, they'll look down and they go, oh, Earth has got crop circles and Mars have got penises.
There's intelligent life on this planet. Not very intelligent, but there is some.
Oh, they must be a bunch of cocks. All right, that's thank goodness that's brought us.
Banger out again, watch out.
Thank goodness that's brought us to the end of the show. My God. All right, so it's been a great big show, and thanks for sticking around, especially those on the audio and especially those on the video. The video would have went a bit longer because my little hasty exit there for 10 minutes. But so I hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget the Iyaz Akhtar interview. It is great. Go and see the rest of that at aussietechheads.com.au/specials. Don't forget all the other stuff that's going on, /radio. Heaps of shows going up there. All the latest episodes up every Thursday night. And also before our show live on Thursday nights, the last couple of weeks, we've had the replay of techwebcast.info and also geeksphere.tv all the way from NZ. Check those guys out on their respective websites. They've got some great stuff coming out. And that Geeksphere, you got to check their set out. Amazing.
Oh, it's great.
It's great.
I'm actually trying to organise a bit of a catch-up when they got downtime so they can show us around.
It'll just be a big green screen.
Yeah, but like the setup and how they actually make it work.
Yeah, it's an actual studio.
Because that seems to be an art that we haven't figured out yet.
No, I think it's an actual studio. As far as I know, it's a professional actual studio.
Okay.
Yeah, that's as far as I know. But
Well, that helps.
what do I know? But anyway, I think that's what it is. And what else is there? There's a bunch of other stuff. You can see the paper, aussietechheads.com.au/paper. Stories all the time. Get them in latest stories in your Twitter feed. Just follow at Aussie Tech News. And the radio is also at aussietechradio.com. So there you go. There's everything everywhere. You follow us at Will, Glenn, Eric, and who have I missed? Shane?
Shane.
Go on Twitter. Shane's at SHAYNE1973. Will's at Mr. Tompkinson. Eric with a K, Franco, and me, I'm at Aussie Tech Heads. Or email us, Glenn, Will, Shane, or Eric at aussietechheads.com.au.
I was going to say, what are you, my auntie?
Oh,
She's
yes.
the only one that...
William. Now, William.
It usually means I'm followed by, come here now.
Yes. Fix my computer. My dongle's broken. Now, I think the batteries are flat.
Ain't dongly anymore.
All right. So, thank goodness this is finished. All right.
I'm glad this show's over.
I know. All right. I think we've done everything. Anything last from you, Shane, or you're out? You're done?
After we did that story about the Singapore cable, I did a speed test, and my speeds are actually slightly slower. So if it was up to me, I'd break the cable again.
Okay. Well, probably more people have jumped on. That's why. Now that's fixed.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
There's more people using it now.
Yep. All right. And Will, you got nothing else? You're out? Done?
Nothing important, no, because you know how much I only like in doing the important stories.
If you want to find out what else is going around Will's mind, send me an email.
Please, I could use a stalker.
All right, that's about it. I think I've done everything. So thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for watching. If you have done so via the video, don't forget the specials. Those interviews are fantastic. Share them on Facebook. And speaking of Facebook, like us on facebook.com/Aussie Tech Heads and YouTube for that matter, .com/Aussie Tech Heads. So till next week, it's a bye from all of us. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.